Welcome back, folks, to our Fill Your Cuppa Support Together podcast. I am Mrs. O, your host. On my right, I have Una Mary Leonard.
Hello.
On my left, I've got a very special guest, Mr. Vic Jankus.
Yep, that's the one.
We are on season 3, episode 13. Lucky for some.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Yeah,
We've got a gentleman sitting
big tall man
opposite me, a big tall
Thank you.
gentleman.
He's a wee bit nervous.
Wee bit.
Wee bit
I
nervous.
know.
First time on a podcast.
Yes. But you've
Let's
listened to
not
our
be nervous.
podcast, so you have an idea of how it goes.
Yeah.
He listened at once.
The very first one. The special one.
That was it. So Vic is our sponsor for the podcast, Supreme Motors.
Yeah.
He's a businessman. He sold me my car. She's going well. And we thought we'd get him in today. He's also an S2 dad. His beautiful wife, Chloe, and 2 beautiful wee children, Caleb and Mia.
Mia.
Are part of our S2 family. So do you want to introduce yourself, Vic, and tell us how you come to get to know Support Together?
Yeah, well, when I was born, Caleb, there wasn't much support out there, so there wasn't. So
Yeah.
we kind of went to socials and see what can be done and if we can get on somewhere as well. And then we came across Support Together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a matter of just a message into the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And just spiraled from there. So we were invited into the hub. We met everybody, Una, Kira and Gemma.
Yeah.
And from there it was just simple then. So it was, you were welcomed in straight away with a cup of tea.
Yeah.
So you are just kind of.
So am I right in thinking Chloe had come in through the Bumps Together program?
She
wasn't it?
did, yeah.
It was
Bumps
advertised.
together. It was round lockdown
Yeah,
time-ish,
lockdown,
wasn't it?
yeah.
The world was a wee bit different then.
Yeah,
and
nothing out there then. So there was,
nothing.
So that was our antenatal program. So it was done like a 6 or 8 week program.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the baby coming, I suppose, and getting to know your emotions and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
And then as Chloe went on ahead, she had the labour and give birth to Caleb. Then she was part of the S2 family, and I
Yeah.
suppose you were an S2 Superdad at that stage too. You were coming through the ranks. Chloe's journey for Support Together, I suppose, is another story, and that's one that we'll have with Chloe. But what about your journey with Support Together, Vic? What was it?
Brilliant from day one.
What was it like becoming a dad?
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's nothing you've experienced before. You know,
Exactly.
like the birth, and you just didn't know what to do. And we were quite young as well, to be fair, and none of our friends had went through it, so we'd nobody to look to as
Yeah.
well. Chloe's sisters were older then as well, and there's nobody can really help us out bar our mums and dads, and then
Yeah.
it was lockdown as well, so nobody can see the babies too through the window. That was about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lonely time anyway,
Yeah.
but lockdown made it even lonelier.
And then antenatally, I suppose, we, like even my own husband would say, like when I didn't know what was going on, bar the scans.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm not feeling, you're feeling the changes in your body.
That's
I
it.
suppose a lot of us women, mothers, get introduced to the baby much earlier. It takes men, husbands, partners, dads, longer. You know, it doesn't happen as soon as the baby's born.
No.
And we talk about love grows. It does take
Yeah.
time because we're feeling the changes in our body.
Yeah.
You're seeing us change.
Yeah.
Been coming crabbit and hormones and eating all around us, but it's just lovely. But you don't actually, it's getting the gist of there's life.
It doesn't. It's like this baby appears, and it's well, what do we do? Where do we go from here? What
So we would
happens?
always say to dads, you know, it will take time. You know, it took your partner 9 months to produce this wee human.
Yeah.
It'll take you 9 months plus a wee bit more.
Yeah, like we said from the start when we first met, like dads are 9 months behind.
Yes,
Big
Straight away,
time.
like,
100%.
Yeah.
And that is, see, even that, like that is amazing. In fact, for you even to say that, because that, imagine that was said to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As in a young cub and you and Chloe thinking of starting a family or whatever, or you were able to give that advice to somebody else. That's brilliant advice.
Yeah, like no one. We had nobody to tell us bar yourselves.
Yeah.
You know that's why we couldn't go anywhere else. You know,
I know.
that was the S2 then just
Yeah.
became part of us.
Part of
So
it.
that,
And
yeah.
I suppose we did a lot. The antenatal was early intervention work.
Mm-hmm.
It's about that education.
Yeah.
It's about that emotional transition, becoming you and Chloe.
Yeah.
So it was Vic and Chloe, and then the next of it,
Yeah.
it's going to be Mummy and Daddy. Like, and you're used to calling your parents Mummy and Daddy, and then the next what you're going to be called this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not ready for this shit. What?
Definitely not. No.
The responsibility changes too, and you've Did you feel like you had an extra hat to wear, and was there much more pressure? Did you put the pressure on yourself of, now I'm a daddy, what's the expectations of what I'm meant to do here?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, expectations are very high, and how would you put this? Yeah, like it's just nerve-wracking. So it is, because it's so new to yourself, and you want to do everything perfect, but you can't, and your hands are shaking. You're changing nappies, and your hands are shaking. You don't know what to do, and like it was tough, at the start.
And that's a daddy, and I suppose then you're also thinking about Chloe. Because Chloe's been a part of your life for so long, and you're sitting thinking, how's she getting on, or like, you have this baby to look after, but you also have to look after Chloe. I'm assuming that's what you were thinking. So there's that was added on top of that as well. So I can't imagine the poor fellas, how they're getting on.
Yeah, because that's why it's so important to have a dad here, Vic, and we do so appreciate you coming in. I know it's not easy. It's not easy sitting in front of me and Ciara, the two Egypts,
Sure, he knows.
and you're thinking, what are them Ciara's going to ask me? I know that, but it means a lot to get a dad, because the voice of the dad is very, very important. And see, the likes of when you heard you becoming a dad, where does your thoughts go to? Does it be, oh my God, I need to go make more money? Oh, I need a more stable job. Or here, I need to run to the hills. Where does a male's head go?
I'm probably speaking for a lot of men now. And,
please.
Yeah, you're thinking of a stable house. So you are. And before we had kids, we didn't really plan it, but we didn't mind to have kids, because everything was in place first then. So it was since lockdown. We were homeowners, and we had good jobs. It was fine.
Yeah.
You needed that stability first. So and then I spoke to my friends, and after that as well, that now I have babies too. That was the first priority, was stability. Have a home, have a good job, so you can keep your kids as well.
A roof over the head, get food on the table.
Yeah.
Do you remember finding out that Chloe was pregnant?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Very, very.
Was there?
It was excitement and really, really scared at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is life you're bringing in.
Yeah.
Like, even to buy a puppy,
Oh,
it's tough going. Do you know? I don't think people realise that. So a lot of people end up handing the dog's back. Can't really do that with children.
No,
I still threatened it to mine.
You're looking for somebody to rent them off you.
I still threatened it. I'm like, it's not too late. I can still go back to the hospital with you.
So it is. You're so right. It is daunting. So it's daunting for the male and the female.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's that, oh my God, waiting on the two, is it blue lines?
2 blue lines.
Jesus, I remember them days. Like, and part of you holding your breath, and realising that these 2 lines are going to change your life one way or the other, because either you're going to be disappointed, or you're going to be deadly.
Yeah, over the moon,
over the moon, and then, oh my God, what's next? What's going on?
I think that's what it was. The start was pure excitement.
Oh my God.
Because that was the next stage in our life anyway. So it was.
Yeah.
It was.
You were getting married. It was the next day. You had the house getting married. So then just be baby coming along.
Yeah.
See,
and that was always the plan anyway. So it was, so it was fine. And then when it goes down the line and it's closer and closer, and you're like, oh shit.
Did you feel as a dad to be protective over Chloe? Did you feel, because she was bringing life into this world, or did you feel you had no sense of control? It was as if everything's ticking.
I didn't know what to do, to be fair.
Right.
You can go out and buy them V-shaped pillows to keep her comfortable, but that's as much as you can do. Like there's when they're in pain, like what can you do?
Yeah.
Like it pains you that they're in pain as well.
Exactly.
But there's nothing you can do about it.
Uh-huh.
I think that's just the process. But you're more aware of their feelings and stuff as well,
So what was the difference between baby 1 and baby 2? Just when you're talking about feelings, were you actually more in tune with Chloe and what she was going through with baby 2?
Yeah. We knew what we were getting into. This time you can say as well.
Yeah. Get the heads up.
Yeah, that's it. We knew the way to control her feelings. I knew her better as well from being in S2. And obviously we did go through a bit of counselling as well. So after Caleb was born. So that set us up for baby number 2, you can say. But then our fear was on how to divide the love between the first and the second.
Oh, yes.
And we didn't know how to. Like, I was like, you can't.
You don't have to divide love, because the extra love comes because the 2 of them's there.
That's it.
And right, so that is really good, right? So you did, and that is, because I remember Chloe saying, oh my God, we love this wee man so much. I mean, what age was he when you found her pregnant?
1.5 or
So he was like,
Yeah.
you were even getting to know him
Yeah.
really well, and you were
Yeah.
able to do play fight and able to just that was the dad and the
I know,
son
and he's
bond
a
was
great wee
really
man. Oh
Yeah.
my God, we can.
he is, and the person and like, you could see that unit between you and him, and then that family unit between you and him and Chloe. So the next bit is falling pregnant, and exactly what you've said there. How the hell do we divide the love? But it
You don't have to divide it.
isn't it, and how do you explain that to anybody?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just comes, just go with it, you know. And then when they are born, like Mia's birth was different. So was for me and Chloe. You can say like it was, as you said, we knew what was coming as well. But the love came straight away. You know, it was.
Oh, and that lovely.
I know. It was crazy. Like
I wonder was that because it was a girl?
I honestly
As
do put
well.
it in that as well. 100%, I do put it down to that. Yeah.
Because that's your daughter, that's your, and like, I suppose I'm sitting here as a mum, I have 2 boys and a girl, and I know that my experience as well for the 2 boys was totally different than what I had for Orla. But my education for the 2 boys and what I had, the education I had for Orla for myself and who I was and my emotions was completely different.
Yeah.
I suppose I had the help and support together as well for Orla, and it was a totally different experience. And then-
And like Michael, we had a girl first, but Mick would say he didn't. Like, what am I meant to feel?
Yeah.
It's that overwhelming, I suppose. Then my journey as having Caitlin and having a vaginal birth and getting the gas and air, and it was traumatic.
Yeah.
Do you know, in a sense, for him to watch because he
Yeah.
was there, he's seen me.
And pain just.
Exactly. And then to be this baby, 6 pounds something put in your arms.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh,
What do you do then?
what? Exactly. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and probably the second was different for him yet again is because you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know, like we have a lot of people beat themselves up thinking that magic wasn't there straight away or that
Yeah.
warm fuzzy.
That's just a movie. That's
That's
fairy tale.
exactly
That's the movie,
Disney,
like,
and
Fairy
that's
tale.
and that's. I think we need to be honest. Love grows.
yeah.
Definitely, you see your baby and you realize this is ours, and it's nearly that. Holy shit!
Yeah.
What do we do? What? And then going home with the baby
Mm-hmm.
because you're home and that's it.
I wanted to stay in hospital. Like.
And the for way is because you felt safe.
Yeah.
You had people around you to help you.
Yeah.
So you had your first, and then you had your daughter. So with the gentleman family, this tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the pregnancy and the getting preparing for the second baby? Was it much different,
I
or did
think it
you?
was easier because we had more support from yourselves as well,
Yeah.
and we kind of knew what to do then. Yeah, I don't think it was hard, you know. like
It wasn't as daunting, maybe.
No, it wasn't. Just that one wee thing where how do we divide the love, but that was the only thing.
But even you to say that, like, I think that's amazing. Because all people wouldn't even, they might think it, and then they think it's shameful.
They would never say it out.
Because Chloe, how do we divide the love?
Yeah.
So that conversation, you and Chloe have you communicate well.
Mm-hmm.
You've a connection. You're able to talk about your feelings.
Yeah.
Like when somebody talks about their feelings, do you get all?
Not really. No, I did at the start. I think when Caleb was just born, obviously we weren't in the greatest of space. That's why we seek for help as well at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
So, we're a lot more in tune now.
Yeah.
So we are, as opposed to the start of it.
So your team.
Yeah. Still have your blips, obviously. But
Oh,
it's
just
life.
here.
It's life.
The making up makes it all the better. Then,
This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, and we couldn't bring the podcast to you today without the support of Supreme Motors. Whether you're looking for something affordable or a top-tier option, Supreme have the perfect car for you, along with a commitment to exceptional care at all times. Visit suprememotors.co.uk.
You're all right. You're heading away to Barcelona, which is amazing because you have to make time for each other.
Yeah.
And that's I know that what a lot of men would tell us that, you know, that him and her together and they do so much, and the next this baby comes along, and often the men feel
Left out.
and like when me and my husband would talk about, there was 4 in our bed. There was Michael, Caitlin, and postnatal which was behind you, the character, the illness. I was full of anxiety, and then me. You know, so to navigate that, like that's a world turned upside down.
Yeah.
And actually you felt you were going further and further apart rather than it bringing you together at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you hear that all the time. That a lot of
it does. I suppose postnatal and what we've found and we're doing a lot of work on at the moment is the difference it has in relationships and the effect that it has in relationships. And I suppose you and Chloe are a perfect example there of how you've worked together and how you understand each other and the importance of communication and getting that right. And then the perfect example of you're heading away now for a couple of days to your big yourself. You deserves that.
Yeah.
Like it's time out helps with time in.
does.
Because there was Vic and Chloe because before there was Vic, Chloe, and the two Ians.
Yeah.
And filling and having that time together. And that could even be just going to the cinema, going for a meal or going for a walk.
Yeah.
But where's you in the relationship?
Yeah.
Where's Chloe?
That was the biggest change we made was take a day out during a week for yourselves.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing. So it is where you can just get into a rut. So you can work home, and that's it. You know, like you just have to try and make time at least one day a week.
And that's something that you have learned then following Caleb being born.
Yeah.
And you've kept it up.
So imagine we knew all of that walking into parenthood rather than landing in the hood and not knowing where the hell we are. Imagine and maybe the likes of having conversations or your friend's going to become a dad for the first time, even sharing that wee bit of advice.
Yeah.
Or a dad for the second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
That you don't have to divide the love.
That's it, like,
You know.
If you were to go again, the fear wouldn't be there the next time for how we're going to divide this love in three.
No, there wouldn't be.
No.
And that's what I thought about. Like, you'll divide it. You'll not divide it, it'll just grow more.
It just grows.
course.
Your heart gets bigger because you've all the more to love.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, big time. And it is hard to explain it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't, why we do antenatal and why we do is trying to prepare people emotionally. But I don't know if we can fully do that. But it's when people end up being at the other side and feel the anxiety creeping in, the birth didn't go well. You know, the partners are fighting that they're not a unit anymore. Maybe they're arguing more, maybe deciding how they're going to feed the baby, breast or bottle. All of them.
Different things.
Like you go and plan to have, we all think we're going to, like my birth, I had this plan. Nothing went to plan.
Out the window,
Totally out the window. But then you felt as a failure. But that's what we try to do in Support Together is talk about
the what ifs.
Bring honest conversations into the room in the hope when you're sitting faced with that you realise you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, rather than people comparing leads to despair. It's the biggest, especially parents and women. Mothers compare often
all the time.
Yeah, and such is doing something. Look at their way. And
Do dads do that?
No.
You didn't think, you didn't look at somebody else and think, oh, you know, he's getting it better, or no?
I don't. Not regarding kids. No, I don't think so. No.
No, but
not like
other stuff.
They went here. They went here. You know, you have to go do that now. And
no,
not at all. Don't think so.
And are you the wee beacon of hope for the rest of your friends that have had babies? Are you the one that come to, or are you the one saying, you're all right, you know, it's going to be all right, I was the same, or no?
I would help out. You know, there's a bit of slang going on obviously as well. So there's like, but
of course that has to come part of it all now.
Yeah, you gotta. How would you say? You gotta get them on the ball. Tell them obviously how happy you are and stuff, and then when they join in, you're like, you're not nice, so you are. But no, we would help out obviously. So would and more of our friends are now mummies or daddies, and it's easier now. So it is, you know, where you've a lot more to talk about as well at the same time, and like you're doing more things together. And if they're going through a rough patch, they will come to us and ask for advice. As well, you know, like.
And it's lovely that you are, as you said, we're able to do more together. You have more to talk about, because really, whenever you have a family, the family kind of takes over, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
So it's your inner circle. That's where you concentrate on.
Your priority becomes the family.
Like our nights out stopped. You know, Caleb came and all of our friends are still
partying.
Partying away. Like and everything stopped, and you're in a wee bit of a rut yourself then as well. So you are, but then a lot more in common now. when everybody else obviously has a baby.
And that because as Ciara talked about relationships change, relationship you have of yourself, change especially as well with the female because of maybe she starts not liking her body, she starts criticizing herself not for being good enough. We're no child, nobody in this world is perfect. Our ways have unconditional love for us. So whatever way we turn up the best we can. But we're hard on ourselves. And the same with men, you can be hard on yourselves. Now, when you find your boy getting a bit older now, see, you could be having him out in the football pitch or playing basketball. And this is where the comparing will come into.
Probably,
and this is where the wives or the partners turn around and go, he's doing well. Look, he's all right. No, he hasn't scored, but isn't it the taking part? That's the important thing. That's when the males change. Because you start getting competitive, when you want, it's different because at the beginning, we're wanting our children to reach milestones. And we're wondering, are we doing enough? Our children, all they want is just time. Shelter, love, and care.
They'll get there whenever they want to get there.
They get there, I can imagine. Caleb being a wee basketball player.
Okay, yeah.
And maybe her too.
Player too. I would say so, yeah. I think actually at the moment more her than him, but I.
You think?
Yeah.
She's a
He's
real
only one too,
Oh my God.
But that is it. And you will be. That's where you'll come out as the compare.
I would say
and
so,
she'll be
yeah,
saying, stop comparing, Daddy. It's leading to despair now.
Yeah.
Come on, you're getting yourself annoyed.
I know.
So there's probably where the relationship
Flips just.
Yeah. And how you complement each other. I suppose what I mean, the gender, the male, the female, how we complement each other throughout the journey of parenthood.
Yeah.
So would you say you're sitting in fatherhood now comfortably?
Yeah.
You're not in the hood anymore. Do you remember the hood? Do you remember when you landed in it?
Yeah.
Walking and diving,
Really scared. So would you now feel you're sitting in fatherhood? You're parenting together also. So parenthood, father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Like there's no more fears there. So it's not, you know what you're doing, with the kids. And Mia's now one again and she's close to walking, and that's the more comfortable stage with me. So it is.
You love,
I know when they start walking. So,
and I get that. Baby stage wasn't for me, Vic.
No.
I was terrified of babies.
Yeah.
I love it when they were, because when I worked in childcare, it was when they were walking, talking, and all of that. Of course, I had to look after my own baby. It was different, but I'm saying, so that's right. Guess as the age you'll just be.
So you thrive now. You can say, and as you said, I'm not a baby person in the way too, so I'm not like
that's okay.
You're scared of them, so you are.
Of course you are. They're so delicate. And you men are so tall. You're so tall, and you have bigger hands, and
they're a bit more robust now. Not you throw them about a bit more, but you know what I mean. You can play with them and,
more.
and you have a bit of fun with them, and that's whenever the crack starts with them too, because she's going to start chatting, and that's whenever you have the conversations.
By the way, they say dad first. It's not because of user daddies. I'm just going to break the
word to say.
It is. It's to do with their speech.
She might actually say
comes before
she might actually say Ciara first. She might actually say Ciara first.
The amount of bloody mummies we have to calm down because go for frick's sake, is it dad first and I'm the one with her all the time, Ram?
She is named after me,
Who?
She goes by that, yeah.
She's named after me. And her second name's mine.
What do you mean?
Ciara.
I am sure.
Yep.
You tell her what she wants to hear.
That's exactly what
she should have been named after Una then.
No. It was
my Una is lovely wee lang.
Favourite Auntie Ciara, so it is.
It helped me sell a car to Ciara, so that's what happened.
Oh, you know what to do. You are a fucking salesman. I love it. Class.
So he's a salesman by day, and then he goes home and he's playing on the floor with the wheels rather around the floor.
Yeah. And it is the amount. You think the amount of hats you wear as well as a dad, a husband. And what I mean is you have to go sell cars. That's your living.
Yeah.
And you tell people what they want to hear.
Yes.
Not all the time.
I'm only slagging. You knew how to get to this one. And fair play to you.
I was buying that car and
she fell in love with it. But also then going home and being a husband and then being a daddy. And that's that sometimes men feel that they have to be this big, strong role model. Yeah, that's a part of it, but there's more to just being, showing this physique of being taught, I'm there for everybody. You have to be there for self, but also showing your emotions.
Yeah.
I think that's the most attractive thing and a gift. My husband will always tell my two that he loves them and hugs them. There's a lot of people out there that never hear that from.
No.
I'm going to throw a question out here. Did becoming a daddy change your relationship with your own parents?
I did, yeah. Like I got a lot closer with my mum and dad. So I did. Because they were always there, always helping
Yeah.
out, you know, so they were. And
It kind of makes you respect them more. You think to yourself, you know, they
I look at them. Yeah. And like, and your mum and dad would have come over to Ireland at what age? Were you born over here?
No, it wasn't. No, I moved here when I was 10. So it's not 18 years ago now, yeah.
Like that was a big move
Yeah.
to take. And so is any of all of your family over in Ireland? Like,
no.
So, and you're from
Lithuania.
So
Lithuania.
what made them come here?
Just to better themselves.
Better opportunities.
Better life, yeah. Like
yeah.
friends were over here as well, and then dad came over first. For about a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
He was sending money back and forth and stuff as well. And then after they just both decided that mum will go out as well and work. Because the money was a lot better here as well. So it was, and living standards were better too. So they both came out, and then with a plan of coming back a year later. That was always a plan. So it was, and then a month later, mum can say she missed me. That she missed me a lot.
So you were you were over with your family.
Yeah.
Oh, that would of course. Oh, her only wee cub. Like, oh my word, yeah.
I think it broke her, so she came back a month later, got me, and that's what moved us here. Then, yeah.
So they even Ciara asking you that about you now get how that nearly broke your mama.
Oh,
you couldn't leave Caleb and
shakers.
Yeah, well, like we left Caleb for 2 weeks on a honeymoon, and that nearly broke us. Like it was tough. So it was.
But your mum and dad was seeking opportunities for
you.
you.
Yeah.
As well, so even for what they had to do, that was scary for them to come over to this country, Northern Ireland, like the north of Ireland or whatever anybody wants to call it.
Oma.
County Tyrone. Whatever he calls it. But anyway, for how. And then you to be living still over. Would you call that your home still?
No, we'll call it home here now.
Okay.
We'll definitely call it home here, yeah. We made her a home here, So
yeah. Oh, that's now look, you've a business now in Oma.
Yeah.
You've a father of 2 kids. Your wife.
Would you ever think about going back?
No, never. Like,
just over for holidays and see them.
Yeah, like mum
it.
and dad always. Their plan again was it changed again. They'll put me through school and university, and then they'll go back then. So and that changed with us having kids.
Yeah, and they weren't going to leave you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously tragedy, my mum passed away and stuff, and dad was thinking of going back then. So it was, but I kind of talked him into staying.
Did you?
Stay with you?
Yeah.
Here, like,
This is where you are now. This is your family. This is your home. Yeah.
And you lost your mummy last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just turns the world completely up. And then Chloe was pregnant at that time, was she?
No. She was born.
Mia was born. Mia was.
That's right. So your mummy got to hold Mia and
she did.
Be with her.
Yeah. She did that final night. Actually, she came over in the morning, so she did, and held me. And now Caleb was sleeping, which was a pity. So it was, but
Caleb had plenty of cuddles from her.
Plenty of cuddles and chats from your mum, because she was at some name we heard a lot.
Yeah.
She was a solid granny.
Yeah.
You know, when did you call her granny? Or was there a...
Baba.
That's right. Baba.
I remember how you Baba away. That's
right. Baba. And Baba spoilt them rotten.
And is that the Lithuanian for granny, Baba, or was it just a name you called her?
No, that's just the name they called her, aye.
Love it.
Yeah.
Baba.
I think Baba's lovely. Lovely. And Baba's going to be there throughout all of your life.
Yeah.
She's there in spirit.
Yeah.
And that's... Because we'd talk about her. You know,
she's talked about a lot in sport together.
Yeah.
Chloe talks about her a lot, so she does, because she's a massive part of your family.
She definitely was.
Yeah.
This episode was so good. Join us next week for part 2. This was Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, with me, Mrs. O, Ciara O'Gowan, my co-hosts Una Leonard and Gemma Casty. The podcast today was brought to you with thanks to our sponsor Supreme Motors NI and produced by 9874 Creative.